Um, that being said, let's just go ahead and begin. Um, how did you first get started in wrestling? How did it all started off for you?
Um, the Georgia, or specifically Atlanta, had a platinum championship wrestling, which was a little mix between kind of the art culture that is around Midtown Atlanta, as well uh, as well as wrestling. And so I went to one of the shows just out of interest, and I decided to attend the school after I watched one of the shows. I happened to be friends with the Washington Bullets, and so basically they brought me in to the fold. So that's pretty much how I came in.
So, do you remember your first ever wrestling match that you ever had? And if so, who was your opponent or opponents for that matter? And what company did you work for at the time?
I was still with Platinum Championship Wrestling, just basically paying my dues. We had a group that was kind of like a knockoff of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it was called Campus Strike Force. And basically, as part of your dues, you kind of had to dress up in this full costume along with a mask. And as a group, you went out for a squash match, and everybody had, even though you didn't talk or you didn't have a particular move set, each character had uh, each character had its a role, I guess. And what that helped to do was with body language alone, because again, they couldn't see your face. With body language alone, you learned how to sell a story. So one of my first matches was basically doing that for a member of Platinum Championship Wrestling.
So I gotta ask you this, considering that you brought up, the whole Power Ranger thing. What was your first reaction when the company told you this is how you're gonna start your career? Were you thrilled about it? Were you not thrilled about it? Did you just try to adapt with it? Like, what was your reaction when they told you this is the character you're going to be?
I was actually pretty thrilled about it. I guess um, I didn't really come into wrestling culture like many other people did, so I didn't have that sense of an ego. I received it as a point of um, e- even even though there wasn't much of me in that character, they still thought that I was ready to perform on a certain level. So that that at the time that was something to be perceived as good. That, oh, we feel that we can put you in front of a crowd and you won't, screw the pooch on it. But I also understood it for what it was. And again, it was learning to be in the ring. It was learning to be aware of what is going on around you, as well as, again, just to get prepared to get over a character, to get over a gimmick, and to be prepared to convey, again, convey a story to the audience.
I gotta say that I'm definitely a fan of yours. Of course, I've heard of you through the Georgia area. Also heard of you through Magnificent Ladies Wrestling, a custom company that you have had matches with in the past. And you know, who do you consider as influences in your career, whether it's indie or whether it's pro like WWE, TNA, whatever the case may be? Who do you consider as influences? Those that you look up to?
Um, I Before I really knew anything, the first answer that used to come to my mind was The Rock, because that was the era that I came up in. And before I really understood anything about the indie scene or anything about the history, there was Trish and Lita, and that was the forefront of everything that I saw and remembered from my childhood. But definitely with some of the greats passing, you kind of have to, uh, you kind of also have to tip your hat to women like Mula and May, and basically, uh, it's kind of come down to now who do I want to surround myself with. There's some great people in Florida that I'm looking to begin communicating with. Um, there, uh, there are great gimmicks in Florida as well. Um, so far as who has influenced me from the indie scene, when I first got in, I started looking at what was recommended to me was Sarah before she got picked up by WWE for training. Um, let's see, I I had a thing for Buggy Nova also when I first got in, and I'm trying to think else. A lot of FCW, a lot of Japanese wrestling was some of the stuff that was also given to me to study. So, those are the things that are influencing me, and I'm just trying to get back into watching what I want to develop into more so than what has been available in Georgia.
That being said, you mentioned Florida, which was taking place at Florida right now is a company called Shot and Wrestling, an all-woman wrestling show. It's become one of
Hmm.
the top woman wrestling shows in the country. That being said, is that a goal that you would like to accomplish? And if so, what are some other
Yes.
goals you would like to accomplish?
Um, uh, Shine is one thing that I'm looking to get onto. Uh, um, Miss Natural, I happened to meet while with MLOW, as well as Kimberly, and they've given me some tips on to how to develop more of a, because you have a lot of people who are getting in on the scene, but not a lot of people know how to get over a gimmick nowadays. So they said that that was really important for Shine. So that's something I'm trying to develop myself. Just more of a standout gimmick that would catch people's attention. Um, so far as other goals that I want to, uh, um, I really right now I'm sort of gathering myself after being around Georgia, and pushing more out, just trying to get out of state as well as um, getting across country. I really want to look forward to uh, going over to Utah. I did have some communication with Morgan, so hopefully that will be soon. Um, and then, of course, a bigger goal was to get out of country, just to take some time in Japan as well as England. And I think uh, that would just really further my development, I guess.
I must say that those are some awesome goals that you have in mind, and I hope you get a chance to pursue those goals, especially Shine, because that company is just continues to evolve, and it's not just getting wrestlers in America, but they're getting wrestlers all over the world. I mean, women that takes this craft very seriously, and I feel like you fit that mold of what they need to get as far as more women wrestlers that really wants to elevate themselves. And I hope and pray you get the opportunity. I seen your work and I like what I see. I'm very impressed, and I guess it's just a matter of when opportunities may not come often, but maybe one day opportunity will head towards your direction. I mean, you definitely have made a name for yourself in the Georgia area for Platinum Championship Wrestling, and I guess you just keep doing what you've been doing, and maybe opportunity will come at your direction.
That's what I'm hoping for. For right now, yes, hoping that it'll come in my direction, but um, a large, a large factor is me now that I've completed what I wanted down here is now to put in the footwork, put in the groundwork, put in the effort, and make sure that not only does opportunities come to me, but kind of getting out there and chasing those opportunities down. Because I have the contacts, and I just to anybody, once you know what you want to do, you know what it takes. All it takes is just the organization and the discipline to go ahead and I guess just track it down and actually accomplish your goals. So
That's awesome. So do you have any upcoming wrestling shows with PCW that you would like to promote that you have coming up?
um, I do want to promote PCW. They do have a upcoming show, not this Saturday, but I believe on the 21st. That is out in Porterdale now. So they're making a return to Mid Georgia to Atlanta. Currently, won't be I won't be uh, currently I won't be on at PCW on the 21st. The show afterwards, I will. But I'll be in North Carolina on July 12th. I will be at MLOW. So definitely, if you have an interest in a specific custom match that you want to see, go ahead and order that. In order to contact me for booking, you can find me at Nina Monet on Facebook, at Monet_Nina on Twitter, NegroDama02 on Instagram, if you're interested in any of my pictures as well. Um, Almost there. Here we go. Finally. The mega show in Kingston, North Carolina on July 12th. That's going to be at the Harvey Memorial Community Center. And so looking forward to that and developing a new fan or returning to a fan base in North Carolina and hopefully moving on to South Carolina again too soon. So there you
Georgia,
go.
Georgia, North Carolina. She's going back to MLOW. In other words, you're pretty much everywhere. So that being said,
I
so
yeah.
that being said, go check out the shows that she mentioned, and you can go to magnificentladieswrestling.com to book a match. You can check the list of other female wrestlers and male wrestlers that will be participating. I don't know what the deadline is, but just go to magnificentladieswrestling.com for more details. And by the way, she does have some
Mhm.
matches on there, so you can go there and purchase her matches as well. And maybe for all you first time people, you get a glimpse of what MLOW is all about and maybe what type of matches that Nina would like to do, whether it's competitive match, whether it's one side match. At least it's gonna be
I
wrestling.
prefer competitive matches, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I um, I don't, some of my greatest matches have actually been at MLW because it's a little bit more laid back. You kind of get more of a chemistry of the girls there once you work them for a few. There's some girls. There's Kimberly, Nyla Rose, Megan, and Miss Natural, as well as Stacey O'Brien. Some of those have been the most fun matches I've had of my career. So yeah,
I think what's
and
g-
those are great women in the indies.
I think what's good about companies like Magnificent Ladies Wrestling is that you get a chance. A lot of fans have those dream matches that people would love to see of their favorite wrestlers go against each
Exactly.
other, and you don't necessarily get a chance to do that on indie because maybe they live too far away from a company or whatever the case may be. But here, for Magnificent Ladies Wrestling, you get a chance to get Nina in a match with any of these ladies that's on their website, and you can make it a reality. Just so that's awesome. Let me ask you this: what do you consider as a highlight of your wrestling career? Something that stands out the most? Like it could be a match that you've had, a rivalry, or a storyline angle, a championship you may have won. What do you consider as the highlight of your career?
Um, two of them. One's a little bit more serious. One is where uh, where the match where I received or I worked for, but the UIW Women's Championship belt. That was one of the more serious titles that I've had. And then something not so serious. The angle that one of the first angles that I was ever in was the Crown Records versus versus the hold on a second. Um, what do you? I'm sorry, this is slipping in my mind right now. Um, Avant-garde. That made for a really interesting feud. Again, that was during the more artsy era of PCW, and that it was a hard-hitting feud because we had some of our greatest matches, but that was really the opportunity for me to really learn how to perform. So I really appreciate that era of my life, or era of my career as well.
My last question for you is if you can give any aspiring people out there advice on their pursuit of becoming a wrestler, what would your advice be to anyone that would like to become a wrestler?
Um, there's so much. Um, um, don't become jaded. You know, you're gonna see a lot of things, but you have to keep in mind why you join, what pushes you, why you continue. You don't believe everything that you hear. You know, people will sell you dreams because that's what this is. It is your dream to work for, not to sit there and buy off of somebody or to have handed to you, because it's not going to happen even if people tell you that. I've watched that happen with so many people, only to see them disappointed and realize that's not how this thing works. But back to being jaded, don't it's how other people run their lives, how other people run their companies. That's them. You do your role. You enjoy yourself. You develop how you want to. You become what you want to, not what other people say. And I think that's how you'll have a successful wrestling career. But do listen to old heads. I mean, they do know something if they've been in the business for a good minute. So.
Well said, and I want to say thank you for being on the show this evening. It was great chatting with you and just seeing how far you come, and you know there's a lot more good things to come for you. And go check out the show in North Carolina. Go check out the Platinum Championship Wrestling, and book those matches for Nina at magnificentladieswrestling.com. Just do it. Just get this woman some more opportunities to expand herself and pursue her dream and take on some of the top tier women wrestlers out there and make that happen. She'll be very happy that you did. Just
Thank you.
just make it happen. Well, Nina, great chatting with you, and again, thank you for being on the show.
Again, thank you for having me, man.
You have a good night.
Have a good evening.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.
That was my guest of the evening, Nina Monet, joining me here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Next week on the show, I will be joined with UW.